Yes, y'all, from the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas. It's Texas Football Today, a show that's a hard commit. My name is Greg Tupper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine and TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or you listen to us in the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. Got a very special day today. Over there at the helm, I don't think she has a camera on her, but it's Ashley Pickle. Oh, do you have a camera on you?
I actually do.
Oh, hi.
I thought we were doing this, but yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Ashley.
I'm here. That's the last time you'll hear from me. I'll show.
That's our producer, because we have a very special show, not just because of the two gentlemen to my left, joined by college editor Ishmael Johnson. Hi, Ish.
What's up?
And Dave Campbell's Texas Football recruiting analyst, Greg Powers. Hi, Greg.
What's up, y'all?
Welcome in to what is a very special day here for us, but especially for what's going on the other side of our studio, where Tobias Steps, the three-star offensive tackle from Lancaster High School, is about to commit live to one of those schools that you see listed behind him. He's got 8 offers. We'll be pulling the trigger. This is the commitment special here on Texas Football Today, and we're so pleased to have him and his family here. We're going to get his decision coming up here in just a moment. But Ishmael, first and foremost, what I think is so fascinating about this recruitment process for Tobias, here's a guy who's got 8 offers and has not narrowed it down at all.
Yeah.
He's some guys are kind of out there telling you exactly what they're going to do.
Sure.
He's been radio silent, basically.
I like that. It's like it really does create the drama with recruiting, and it lets him kind of really soak in all the offers and all the opportunities he has, and kind of, I don't know. Some guys who may go top 3, top 5, things like that, but that kind of shows you that some offers weren't probably meaningful to those guys, and they narrowed down pretty quickly. But it seems like he's kept things pretty open, which I think is pretty refreshing in today's age.
Powers, you've been tracking this recruitment from stem to stern with Tobias Steps, the outstanding tackle there from Lancaster, and I'm interested in how you are tracking what's going on right now as we are moments away from hearing his commitment.
Well, it to kind of piggyback on what Ish just said, I like to be kept in the dark. You know what I mean? Like I like to not know what's going on, because that helps us be a little bit surprised, and build up some intrigue. But Tobias Steps is a guy who, no matter what college he picks, that college is going to be blessed to get him. 6'6", 260 pounds, 82-inch wingspan, and a guy who is really just maturing and coming into his own physically right now. There's a whole lot to like about Tobias Steps, and that's why you're starting to see all these colleges coming after him. 8 offers now. I'm calling my shot.
Okay.
It won't be 8 offers when he signs on a letter of intent in December. It's going to be 20. It'll be 16, 24 offers.
Right.
Colleges are still going to keep offering him no matter what. So.
Yeah. But he's got 8 offers at the moment and has made his decision, or maybe he hasn't. I don't know. I will say Tobias is definitely the tallest person in our office at the moment. It's not. He walked in, and I think all of us, because we've watched film on him and stuff like that.
Right.
And then you meet him and you're like, oh, hello up there.
Yeah.
The size really overwhelms you.
Y'all saw me in the preview.
The video,
The preview video. I'm holding the microphone up, so yeah, Tobias definitely made me look small. I'm not a small, I'm a regular sized dude. I'm not a small dude. Tobias made me look tiny.
It's an exciting day here. Before we get over to Tobias, I'll give you guys the opportunity. Do you have a call? You want to make a prediction here?
You know what? It's too close to be making a prediction for me. I don't know if I want to do it. Let's say this: we've got 4 in-state helmets.
Right.
You think he's going in-state?
I think he's going in-state.
I was about to say, selfishly, because we'd be able to cover him more if he stays in-state. I hope it's one of the – and then Texas State, of course, the other not in-state helmet that we do not have. So I would hope it is somewhere in-state.
Yeah, so GJ can get us a helmet. That's what we're saying. Without further ado, why are we wasting any more time? Let's go over to the cool side of the studio, where Mallory Hartley is standing by with Tobias Steps. Mallory?
Folks, we're just moments away from this big commitment. But first, Tobias, you walked into this office today looking pretty confident. How are you feeling in this big moment?
Pretty good. Excited, ready to get the process done with so I can focus on school and finish off my senior year.
You're not nervous at all? You look pretty good?
A little nervous. Just a little
nervous?
Bit.
You won't be nervous very much longer. All right, Tobias, the time has come. The floor is yours.
Yep.
Where are you headed?
Well, first, I want to thank God for blessing me with this opportunity, because I wouldn't be here without him. And I also want to thank my family for supporting me as well throughout this process. And I also want to thank the coaches, Coach Paul, Coach Ingram, Coach Brown, Coach Golightly, Coach Rutt, even defensive coaches, Coach Muhammad, even though we go at it sometimes a lot. All the college coaches that have recruited me and everyone, and church members as well. I would like to announce that I'll be committed to TCU.
Let's go. TCU it is. A couple of in-state offers like UTSA and Texas Tech on the list. What were some of those factors that went into your decision in going to Fort Worth?
Really, development and how the relationship with the coaches. Also, if I'm close to home, because family is a big factor for me.
Absolutely. Now, talking about TCU just a little bit, what was it about the campus and even, like you said, Sonny Dykes that just really locked in that answer for you?
I felt at home. Treated me like family from the jump. Wasn't nothing wrong. Every coach, same energy from every coach, you know?
And for all the TCU Horned Frogs that are watching this from home and that will watch this later, what can you say to those fans in this moment?
Go Frogs.
Go Frogs. There it is. Well, Tobias, from everybody here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we wish you the best of luck at the next level. Pepper, back to you.
There it is, Tobias Steps, the newest commitment in the class of 2024 for the TCU Horned Frogs. It's a big get for Sonny Dykes, not just from a size perspective, but from a talent perspective. He is heading to Fort Worth to be a member of the TCU Horned Frogs, the defending national runners-up. Greg Powers, you have been tracking his recruitment a long time. You are quite familiar with his game. What is TCU getting in Tobias Steps?
Well, first off, they're getting a guy who fits into their schemes, I think, tremendously well and balances out kind of an offensive line class that they signed last year. I never look at these classes as one-year things, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have to put together a roster. And last year they signed some bigger, wider. Mm-hmm. When I say bigger, I mean wider. Like they signed some guys that were going to be on the interior of the offensive line. And I like what Tobias brings from a length and upside potential as a guy who could be a true left tackle, you know, and those guys are hard to find. Guys that have the length, the mobility, the athleticism to be a true left tackle, those are not easy to find, even in a loaded state like Texas. And you can see him moving through drills here as he attended the Next Level Athlete Texas Top 100 Showcase in Dallas. As soon as he stepped on the field, we were like, this is a dude. And when he walked into that camp, we didn't know a whole lot about him at that time.
Ish, I'm interested. You've been kind of pouring over the tape and getting to know him. Your perspective on what's coming to Fort Worth.
I mean, when you look at, Powers mentioned it, right? This is a guy who's kind of just now really coming onto people's radars, and he's gonna, like he mentioned, he's gonna probably double his offers by the time he actually signs with TCU. And he couldn't have picked a better program in terms of momentum as far as offensive line development goes. You saw Steve Avila go in the draft. Of course, he's a center, and then Alan Ali, who's another interior lineman who I think signed as an undrafted free agent. And they have multiple other prospects coming in. Tommy Brockermeyer, right? Guys who. These guys put people in the NFL, right, on the offensive line, and they had one of the best offensive lines in the country last year. It's a big reason why they went to the national title game. Of course, people talk about the skill positions, but a lot of that was the rock-solid offensive line that Max Duggan had in front of him. And there's a reason why Sonny Dykes held on to the offensive line staff when he came in from SMU. So I think he really couldn't have gone to a better place in terms of development.
Yeah, it's a big get there for TCU. You know, one of the things that really stands out to me is you take a look at his frame and you know, Powers, you mentioned kind of the tackle potential there at the next level. He's a guy that you can hang some more weight on his frame. He's not done growing, which is probably the scary thing about it. But kind of getting him into that kind of next level of his nutrition and kind of bulking him up a little bit. I think that the reason that you saw these offers, and I think that what you saw was these offers came in from schools that are usually on the ground floor of kind of rising stars of Texas high school football, because they talk to coaches and say, hey, look at this guy. This is as projectable as it gets as far as a frame is concerned. And that has to be, to me, what these coaches are really looking at. Yeah,
you hit the nail on the head, because schools like TCU, Texas Tech, UTSA, SMU, et cetera, these are teams that don't wait to pull the trigger on top talents in Texas. They understand what they're looking for in a top talent, and they have boots on the ground, right? And they have a lot of guys that they trust in their coaching circles in the Lone Star State, and they use those resources to their advantage. And that's why, you know, you can sometimes put those schools ahead of the curve when it comes to identifying and, you know, making a huge impact early on in these recruitments. I always love to point out, like, each recruitment is unique and individual, right? But I still feel like we're early in the recruiting process in a lot of ways. The evaluation period, the spring evaluation period, isn't even over yet. And I have a feeling that there were – if Tobias didn't have his announcement scheduled for May 12th, which I think we announced that he was going to commit a couple weeks back in studio, that he'd have right now 13, 14 offers, because I've heard – behind the scenes, there's been some coaches saying, "Well, we want to offer him right now,
but he's got his mind
but we're gonna wait." You know, I think those schools will offer, but they wanted to wait and see where he went and that kind of stuff. So I don't think that's going to like delay any offers coming in.
Sure,
but they were taking a wait and see approach to see who do we have to fight, because negative recruiting sometimes it's real, and if you have that ammo, you can load it in. You can load it a little quicker, you know.
Yeah.
Ish, this is also a really nice win for Sonny Dykes and company, bringing in another DFW talent, which has been a big push for them, is to kind of seal the borders in the DFW Metroplex, and this just another in a long line of guys they're getting from you know, shopping local.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one that started that SMU movement, right? Putting up the billboards everywhere in DFW. So of course he takes that over to TCU, and you can tell that's been his, whether it's via high school recruiting or the transfer portal, right? He's bringing guys back home to DFW. We see with Tommy Brockermeyer and Jojo Worrell right now from Alito, bringing guys back home or keeping them in DFW. So another huge win, and he has the pedigree to show that, you know, back at SMU when he was doing this, it's a proven concept, right? He's able to win wherever he goes with that idea.
It's TCU for Tobias Steps, the Lancaster offensive tackle, and we're going to be talking more about this over the next couple of segments. But first of all, I want to let you know that here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, this right here, the commitment poster, or the commitment is going to go up on our wall here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We like to celebrate everybody who comes in and commits on TexasFootball.com. And so if you are interested in committing on TexasFootball.com, reach out to Greg Powers, greg.powers@TexasFootball.com, and we can get you set up. We would love to have you come and announce your commitment like Tobias Steps did here at the Dave Campbell's Texas Football headquarters. We've been so blessed to have his family and his coaches in to help celebrate this moment. We know what a big moment is. We want to make that moment big, help to make that moment as big as possible for them. So get in touch with Greg Powers, greg.powers@TexasFootball.com, if you are interested in committing live on our air. Also want to invite you to go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. For $49.95 a year, you get 3 magazines, including our legendary summer edition, mailed to you before it hits newsstands, plus Dave Campbell's Texas Basketball, and our recruiting edition, which comes out in November. You also get a year's worth of exclusive online content at TexasFootball.com, and you get access to Texan Live, our streaming service with more than 1,300 live Texas high school events, including hundreds and hundreds of Texas high school football games and hundreds of Texas high school football playoff games, all for under $50 for the entire year. Mother's Day is Sunday. Your mom wants a subscription to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Don't screw it up. Mother's Day is Sunday. There are moms in the studio right now. I need to make sure I'm saying that loudly so they hear me saying it. So yeah, TexasFootball.com/subscribe to get your mom a subscription to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Let's get more on what's going on with Tobias Steps' commitment to TCU. Greg Powers is standing by on the other side of our studio with a special guest.
Hey, I'm joined by 24/7 Sports, HornFrogBlitz.com, TCU recruiting analyst Jeremy Clark. Jeremy, thanks for coming on with us today.
Hey, great to be here, man. I love this place.
Yeah, man, a big commitment for TCU, Tobias Steps. Why don't you kind of break down how you see him fitting into those schemes and how he fits into the roster right now? I know they have 4 commitments so far this year.
I love this addition for TCU. I mean, I've been to camps. You and I have been to camps this spring, and every camp that we went to, Tobias got better. And I'm sitting here looking at this big 6'6" kid, 260, and he moves like a tight end. His feet are extremely good. TCU has a great position at tackle. They've got a great offensive line coach with A.J. Ricker. Those tackles over there play well. He's going to fit right into that system, and I can see Tobias as a guy that if he goes in and puts on the weight pretty well, gets under Kaz Gazzotti, everyone knows how good he is as a strength coach. You can see Tobias adding a good weight to his good frame And I can see this kid playing early, especially with the amount of tackles they have right now. They got older tackles, but yeah, I love this pickup for TCU. I think he's going to have a very bright future for the Frogs.
I'm going to hit us with a blast from the past, right? You were a guy that was always on me about Joseph Noteboom back when we used to do rankings back in the day. He's a guy who developed into an NFL type of guy. When I think about development, I feel like Tobias is stepping into a really good situation at TCU. You kind of mentioned Coach Kaz. Why has TCU had so much success, kind of having a good trajectory into the NFL, into the league with some of these offensive linemen?
Well, I think it really starts with A.J. Ricker. I mean, if you look at what he's been able to do even at SMU and over there at TCU, it's just developing guys, making them versatile. If you look at Steve Avila, he's a guy that played tackle in his career, played guard, played center, but this year he played guard, and you got to give credit to A.J. Ricker in that development. But that's just something that's, like you mentioned, Noteboom. You get these guys that are the 6'6", 250 to 260 range, and they've got those frames where they can go in and add good weight. And I look at Tobias, and he's standing 10 feet from me, and I just keep looking at him and thinking, man, I could see Tobias being 6'6", 305, 310 pounds, of looking a really good 310 pounds, and being that type of offensive lineman that is going to continue to generate a lot of interest. Like you mentioned earlier, I don't think this recruitment is going to be far from over with teams trying to pursue this guy, because he's got a lot of upside. And when you look at where he's going, people know TCU develops offensive linemen, and they have a great history of sending guys to the league, and they're going to know that TCU did their full evaluation on Tobias, and they're going to try to get in on the party.
You're the man when it comes to knowing what's going on in the TCU landscape. I know there was some buzz about Tobias when he scheduled his commitment. What was the buzz like over in the offices as they got prepared for something like this?
I mean, they're pumped. I mean, this is, like I said, this is the kind of guy that you get in on early, and you build those relationships. Tobias told me that he had a great relationship with Coach Ricker and really the entire coaching staff. And one of the things that he mentioned to me was he enjoys the fact that they call him out on some of the stuff. They're very real with him. And that's what TCU has done a great job of communicating with these recruits. Yeah, they had a great season last year. They made it all the way to the national championship, but they're not telling these kids what they want to hear. They're telling these kids what they need to hear. And so I think that means a lot to these kids. And as Ish mentioned earlier, you have a guy like Sonny Dykes that wants to keep this talent at home. You look at Tobias, and he's a local kid, and you want to build that fence around DFW. When they're going into the future of the Big 12, they're losing teams like Texas and Oklahoma. Everyone looks at TCU as being one of those programs that could be on top of the Big 12 mountain, and they could make another run to a national championship game, and especially to the college football playoff. They're doing a great job over there in such an early amount of time, only 1 year on campus, and they're already making waves over there as a coaching staff.
That's why he's the man. Check out all his content, hornfrogblitz.com. Jeremy Clark, thanks for jumping in.
You bet.
Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Powers. We appreciate you guys stopping by and telling us a little bit about this. It's a big day for us here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's a big day for TCU, but more than anything, it's a big day for Tobias and his family. And I know that we just share in the excitement that they have, and we're so thankful they chose us to celebrate their big day.
Sure, 100%. Like you mentioned, I mean, we hope to do this for other kids as well. We're definitely thankful for Tobias and his family for this, and it's a huge moment for also the Lancaster program as well. You know, this was I saw them play against Longview last year, a game that was insane, and like it just showed the talent that they not only had at that team, but that we're bringing back for 2023 as well. I mean, Tobias Steps is going to be one of many from this team, from this class to go play on the next level.
That's a great point, and it's worth mentioning that you know what Leon Paul and that coaching staff there at Lancaster is doing is they have a loaded roster of talent. That this will not be the last time you hear about a Lancaster Tiger committing to an FBS, let alone a Power 5 school, as Tobias Steps has committed to TCU today. So that's going to do it for us. We do thank you for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell, and of course see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks to Jeremy Clark of Horn Frog Blitz for being our guest, and thanks to Tobias Steps and his family for spending their special day with us. For Ishmael Johnson, Greg Powers, Ashley Pickle, and Mallory Hartley, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please give me your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you Monday on Texas Football Today.